we're 6 days in, 40% done with camp already. Are you seeing the energy and the attention to detail through this portion of camp? And then how much more difficult does it get to keep that up, the final 9?
Well, I think the energy's been good. I think there's always things that we can work to polish that. We talked today about the competitive nature of the team. We got to form our identity out on that practice field. And when it gets hard and people are going down, and it was 70 degrees, it was hot, there's a lot of excuses you could make. But I think our team is responding to how we want to practice. Now you just felt it was sloppy and a lot of mistakes. We're getting into the second phase of third down today. A lot more pressures, a lot more motions, a lot more adjustments. So, we'll clean up a lot of that stuff. But I think we're in a really good place. You kind of make a map in your head of where you want to be after 6 practices, and I think we're right on track.
Talked about the pressures, you're sitting, that kind of stuff. To me, it did seem like the defense made the quarterbacks look fairly uncomfortable at times, which is kind of one of those good news, bad news type of things, right?
Well, the quarterback's got to take care of the ball. Flat out, there's too many balls on the ground, too many interceptions, too many, just throws off the back foot. So we got to clean up those moments. We got to speed up the processes on offense. I think defense is a little ahead early because they can just pin their ears back and go. We'll learn a lot from this tape. We'll come back and we'll get better next week. We have a little bit of a lighter day on Tuesday before a big scrimmage on Thursday. So a lot of evaluation going on. A lot of guys got to earn their seats. They got to earn their spots, right? And that's what they know is at stake each and every day.
I know there's still forever to go, right, on the competition, but it seems like Deshaun Purdy will make a gorgeous pass, an absolute dart, and then we'll follow it up with one that goes the other way for 6 points. Are you seeing the same thing?
You're an active observer. Yes, I actually appreciate that about you. A lot of talent there, a lot of high-level talent, can make all the throws, very dynamic, big presence, escapability in the pocket. But there's been some highs and lows, and that's what you're going to get with a young player. He still is 18 years old. And then I think Robbie had his best day Thursday. Came out and we got to work to stack days. You can see the athlete, and then Jeremy has been kind of right in the middle of the mix. So, day by day, they understand, opportunities are limited. When you're rotating 3 guys between the 1s and 2s, every opportunity matters, every play matters, right? It's just hard right now to get in a real rhythm with people and receivers. So we're taking that all into account. But I just want to make sure that these guys, we're seeing their best every day.
I know you didn't watch a ton of tape of the guys you kind of inherited, right?
Yep.
But are there any of the returners that through 6 practices you're like, I didn't know these 2 or 3 guys were going to have this type of impact, but by gosh, they are.
Well, I'll start here. Damon's been as advertised. The way that he can bounce, move, and get back into the zone scheme, I think, is just flat out elite. Rushan Tung, I think he's been a really good job of, when you watch him last year, you see a good player to take his game to the next level is exactly, what we need out of that type of position. And I think our defensive front, has stood out a little bit. I know Langston's new.
And there's a lot of folks to replace on that too.
Yeah, but he's done a really good job the first 6 practices of really standing out on that defensive front. George Stye, I think just watching some practice film from last year, he's taken the next step. So we need more of that. We need more of that. Our program is about development, and every day, our guys got to be working towards being a better version of themselves.
Did Rashawn have that early practice interception? I thought that's who I got.
I think it was, but I can't remember.
Who got the late one?
But just the command. Prunty got the late one.
Okay.
Prunty got the one at the end. I think Zamari had one. But I think just in Rue's case, he's the quarterback back there, right? So that free safety position, commanding the motion adjustments, you just see a more confident player every day, every time he's out there, and that's exactly what we need in that secondary.
You mentioned Damon briefly. When you've got someone who's been in the program for 3-4 seasons already, some of those folks can be resistant to change.
Yep.
And I know a lot of the changes you're looking to do in the offensive scheme
Yep.
really benefit him.
Yep.
But on the other hand, how willing has he been to accept this massive change?
He's been great, because I think he looks at a change as a positive thing, right? Hey, I'm learning a new technique. I'm seeing a new perspective. I'm getting the ball in different and unique ways. So I think anytime you understand change can be good and you can grow from it, I think he's taken that type of approach. And, he texted me the other day, he's never practiced this hard in his career. And I see it, right? I see the competitive nature, right? And he got after the O-line a little bit today, and I think we need some of that. Like, that's okay. It's a competitive fire that, we got to have a little bit more of. So I'm okay with that. Every once in a while you get an O-line, D-lineman wrestling around a little after fighting. I'm okay with that. We need a little competitive fire here, and it was good to see a little bit today.
Rob, your GM.
Yeah.
What are you looking for him out of that role, and how good is it to have someone that you have such a good relationship with?
Yeah.
And can you explain that relationship to him?
I mean, Rob's the best kept secret in all of college football. I mean that in a great way. He was our GA at University of Wyoming, and you could just see something special from day one and how he approached it, his detail. And then when I was with him at Washington State, I brought him there with me, and then he wanted to get into the personnel side of it. And, we're into analytics, we're into the biomechanics, we're into some big words that he'll tell me that I don't even know what they mean. But knee circumference, size, all the PFF data. He does a really good job just of organizing it all the way through from the top down. And he knows that we're here for development, and we're finding traits about what we can develop for the future. And I thought our process is pretty airtight, and it's because of him and his due diligence and what he brings to every day. I think he's just a really special individual.
Is Saturday at camp going to be family day from here on out? I see a lot of family members in the house today.
Yeah, I think it's important. It was awesome. Some of the wives, that are in town got to go out for dinner on Thursday, and just starting to build that connection too within our football coaching families. It was great to have my boys out there. They're ready to go rip it right now, throw some balls out there. But it's just, I love the families to be around for our guys too, right? Because, man, our guys just want their gloves. They want to be them, and it's just a remembrance. Just because you're a football player and you have influence, that doesn't mean you make impact on people, right? We have a responsibility to give back, and just to see the kids and the families and to see their coaches as dad every once in a while is an important part of this journey together.
I forgot to ask the other day when I asked about Candace and your kids being back. After being in town by yourself for a couple months or so, where's the first place you took them to dinner?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm gonna get the name wrong. My wife loves it. Oh man, I want to say Firebirds, but that's not right. It's like a wood oven pizza place down
Bricks?
there. It's right next to Bricks. Just past there. Okay, I'll get the name. I'll give him some credit, but that's where we went. It was it's fantastic. It's our little spot. We celebrated moving into our house on night one, and then we always finish it with a little ice cream. So I think a little Dairy Q in there was very needed for everybody.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, go Deeks.
How's these first 6 practices gone for you so far?
I feel like they've gone pretty good. I mean, I feel like I've got better every day. Obviously, the spring is the time when you work on your techniques, you learn the stuff. So then when fall camp rolls around in the season, it'll be second nature. So I feel like I've gotten better every day.
Obviously a huge transition for everybody that returned on the team. How's that piece of that gone, and what are some of the things that changed that you really appreciate and like?
Yeah, it's a huge transition, but I feel like the energy around here is like just a lot better. Like, it was nothing wrong with the old staff. It's just sometimes change is needed, and I feel like this was the change that we needed, and it's like it just helped, and it's brought out the energy in everybody, and it's made everybody be competitors because nothing is like guaranteed anymore.
Yeah. In your particular room, what's some of the biggest changes in what you guys were doing there?
The biggest change to me, you get to play a little bit more free, and you get to be a football player and just have fun and stay within the system, but make the system work for you, and you find your little loop in the system and make the system better, which will make the Deeks better.
And you guys had a pretty good group of returners too, right?
Yeah.
How does that work in terms of managing the transition, helping the new guys come along?
I feel like that was a big part of it because obviously having a lot of people in the room that's played and that knows how college football works, it's easy to bring the younger guys up and show them how to practice, how to take care of their bodies and things like that, and it just makes it easy and makes the team gel more.
I know the load staff was super high on your talent and potential. When you get a whole new staff, is it somewhat like starting from scratch again, and is that bad or good?
I wouldn't say it's starting from scratch because they obviously could see the film, and I feel like the old staff, if they had any communication with them, they said the same thing to them. So I feel like, if anything, it made me more hungry because now I have to actually show them. I actually have to show these people because they don't. Coach Dickert didn't know me when he first got here, so I had to show him that Zamari is who the old staff hyped him up to be. So yeah.